summons. Moving on to the major story on the Punch, Rivers emergency rule. National Assembly counters PDP. Gov's suit demands 1 billion naira. NAS asks Supreme Court to dismiss opposition Gov's lawsuit as Apex Court set for hearing. That's the rider to that story. On page 8, Nel Fund under fire over loans to ex-students. On page 8, loans to ex-students. All right, on page 31, Naira printing costs skyrockets by 306%. Naira printing cost skyrockets by 306%. You find that story on page 31. On page 32, Tinubu to meet Gencos over 4 trillion naira electricity debt. Tinubu to meet Gencos over 4 trillion naira electricity debt on page 32. On page 8, communal boundary clashes kill over 1,700 in 7 years. On page 8. And on page 39, Oyo signs 3.5 billion naira contract for rural market upgrade. You find it on the Punch for today. Moving on to The Guardian now. The major story on page 6, $37 billion infra core in limbo 5 years after 1 trillion investment. On page 6. Moving on to page 3, Nelfon scandal. Nance urged federal government to sack heads of culpable institutions. On the same page, 162% more customers migrated to Band A as Tinubu meets Gencos over 4 trillion naira debt. On page 3. Moving on to page 8, Obi fault VDM's arrest alleged Nance president abduction. On page 8, Fashola describes Nigeria's constitution most maligned document on page 7. Moving on to page 6 of The Guardian, defection. Kano Gov vows to follow Kwakwanso as Obi's ally. Obe's dumps Labour Party. That's in politics. Moving on to page 9, NCO's Human Rights Writers Association disagree over poor feeding of inmates. On page 9, that's a major concern in Nigeria. Poor feeding of inmates at the custodian centers. And finally, on page 5, editor Serap warned against misuse of Cybercrime Act. You find that on page 5. Now let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune, which is our final daily for today. On page 6, $700 million CVFF indigenous sheep owners in major crisis over 15% equity. On page 6. And on page 30, Oyebanji breaks 18-year-old jinx, complete Ado Ifaki Highway. On page 5, federal government vows to address 4 trillion naira debt crippling Nigeria's power sector. Now to the major story. Poverty rate among Nigeria's rural dwellers hit 75%, says the World Bank. And on page 10, Ondo farmers block Ore, Lagos Road. On page 10, on page 3, police Amotekun clash in Ondo over arrest of suspect, 6 injured. On page 26, NDLEA seizes 3.4 billion naira worth of opioids in Lagos Port Harcourt, uncovers drugs in chocolate tins. And on page 3, 11 vigilantes killed, others missing as bandits launch fresh attacks in Sokoto. Page 22, defection, alter South-South's political configuration. Coalition waits on Atiku Obi on harmonization of structures and plans to unveil party this month. We're ready, says CPC caucus. And finally, on page 5, AFDB unveils $2.95 billion 5-year strategy for Nigeria. And that's all we can take this morning across the 3 dailies we read from The Punch, The Guardian, and The Nigerian Tribune. We're live right now on all our streaming platforms where you can watch and listen to us. On Facebook, facebook.com/Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. That's on Facebook. And on YouTube, you can also find us right there, Wells Radio 89.3 FM. You can watch and listen to us at the same time. But across board, all across your state, just tune in your radio or invite someone to tune in to 89.3 FM. Listen to us also online, www.walesradio893.com, and also on our Radio Garden, Wales Radio 89.3 FM. Good morning. Right, you're welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for tuning in. Let's get straight to work. Chukwemeka Munachiso joins me in the studio this morning. Good morning, Chukwemeka.
Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
How was your weekend?
The weekend was fine.
We thank God.
By the grace of God.
We thank God for that. What's happening on the street? Let's go beyond the news a bit quickly.
The street is still, there's a lot of movements here and there, people looking for what to eat, and a lot of beggars on the street, corporate beggars and the likes. Everywhere you go, people will just walk up to you and ask for some of them will even ask you to, if there's a canteen around, can you help me buy a plate of food here? And that is what is all over the place. When I was coming when I was leaving home yesterday, an aged woman, I was just at the bus stop, very close to my house. She just walked. I thought she was coming to, I made way for her to pass. She said, "No, he was speaking to me in Yoruba."
Okay.
I said, "I don't understand all that you are saying." In Anton to English, impeccable English. And she said, "I'm a retiree, and my money has not been paid for a long time, and I needed help. And I have some children at home. It looks like a grandmother, and they have nothing to eat." When you hear children not having anything to eat, my brother,
that's another conversation.
Unless you are not a human being, you understand. And the children have nothing, and the woman doesn't look like somebody who was making it up. You see, that's one of the things we see on the street on daily basis. You see people even at the bus stops, especially at the bus stops, where they sell. Some of them will not ask for money. They will ask you to buy something for them to eat that they have not eaten since morning. If it is somebody making it up, it will ask you to buy. Even buns. Can you buy that buns for me? I want to eat. That is what our country has been turned into. You understand? And I wonder how our leaders sleep, honestly speaking. Buhari said something when he was in power. Buhari said he can't. He doesn't know how. There's a question he asked. He doesn't know how some people sleep, and they sleep well. Being a leader does not mean you must have a heart of stone. I keep saying it. Leadership is ministry. It's ministry because you are dealing with human beings, and you don't wait for a leader that does not go out to ask questions, move around. Anyway, they can't move around because they know that what they are doing is not good. Do you know? The time I was in Ghana, I saw Jerry Rollins moving all over the place. And this man, one day I saw him at the place they call Kanesh as a junction, directing traffic. I was shocked. That is leadership. You understand? You must feel the pulse of the people. You cannot be up there, and those people around you will not tell you the truth because they will tell you what you want to hear. At the end of the day, it is your own administration that they are rubbishing. Nigerians are poor. I have not seen it. I've not seen it like this before. I've not. Where anywhere you turn to, you see people, beggars everywhere. I've not seen it like this before. I'm a street person. I go out, I mix with people. You hear people asking for things, ridiculous amount, just because they want to go somewhere. And people are trekking, walking up and down. Where they say, no, just drop me here. I will take your order. Yes, I will take the remaining. Because that's what they can afford. And we are talking of 2027.
All right, it is well. Let's start on the political scene this morning. Rivers emergency rule. National Assembly counters PDP Gov's lawsuit demands 1 billion naira. The National Assembly has urged the Supreme Court to dismiss the suit filed by 11 People's Democratic Party governors challenging the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. The federal legislature, in its response, contended that the plaintiff's suit was flawed and lacked merit. The National Assembly said in a preliminary objection dated the 22nd of April, obtained by the Punch on Sunday, it argued that the court lacks the jurisdiction to entertain the suit and should award 1 billion naira in the cost against the plaintiff for filing what it termed as frivolous and speculative suit. President Bola Tinubu, remember, had declared a state of emergency in Rivers State on the 18th of March 2025, suspending Governor Siminalayi Fubara, the deputy governor, and all elected members of the State House of Assembly for an initial period of 6 months. Following the suspension, Tinubu appointed sole administrator to oversee the state affairs during the suspension period. The National Assembly ratified the President declaration through a voice note. The Punch reported that the PDP governors, in a suit number SCCV 329-2025, approached the Supreme Court to challenge the power of the President to suspend a democratically elected state institution and replace it with an unelected one. The plaintiff in the suit are the governors of Adamawa, Enugu, Osun, Oyo, Bauchi, Oka, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Delta, Taraba, and Bayelsa State. The Attorney General of the Federation and the National Assembly are listed as the first and second defendant, respectively, in the suit. I believe by now Delta should have been taken, out of the people who actually put up the case here. But from what we have here this morning, the National Assembly has ordered the Supreme Court to dismiss it. That's the case filed by the 11 People's Democratic Party governor challenging the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. Though we're still waiting for the Supreme Court stand or judgment on the case, but the National Assembly is saying that the Supreme Court should throw it away, that it's frivolous and it's speculative one. Let me get your reaction on that.
You see, Ayo, when we talk of going to court, Supreme Court or whatever court, I used to bother, can we still have justice in the temple of justice? You understand? Because if you look at our brand of democracy, every institution has been eroded. And when people don't have confidence in institution, it bothers, it puts a question mark on whatever that is called governance. In every democratic setup, in a situation where there are judgments here and there, conflicting judgments in the court of law, you begin to wonder what kind of judicial system do we operate here in Nigeria? And you know that democracy is about the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, and also the press. But from what we have been getting all over the place, it appears that nothing is actually looking as if it's all about passing judgments that will not actually give the people what they want. Look at what is going on in Kano State. They still have 2 emirs in Kano State, and you know the danger in it. You see a lot of things when they say go to court, we meet in court. People have lost confidence in most institutions in this country. And that's why I keep asking myself, do we really have a country? Are we really set to have a country? Because things must be put in place, not just people waking up. You do what you know that this thing cannot be done, and you expect that, because you are telling people to go, you are in power. I don't believe in a system where the judicial system will toe the line of those in power all the time. I don't believe that. Because what makes a democracy a robust engagement with the people is that there must be checks and balances. But look, we don't have it again. It has been eroded. We don't have it again. I don't blame this administration. It didn't start with them. The government has been systematically, most of the institutions have been systematically eroded. That in the meantime, people look at if we go to court, do we really get justice? This case, look at the defections that are going on all over the place. Are they defecting because they're not defecting because?
Interestingly, part of the 11 PDP governors, the former governor
of Delta State.
Do we call him the former governor? The governor of Delta State, but right under the PDP at the time, also signed this.
He signed it. Now is he going to go back and withdraw if is a mess?
Let's look at what the 11 governors, they are asking for. And they asked the Apex Court, which is the Supreme Court, to determine 6 constitutional questions, including whether the president can lawfully, suspend or interfere with the offices of the governor or deputy governor and replace with an unelected appointee under the guise of state of emergency. They further requested the court to determine whether the Attorney General's threat, acting on behalf of the president, to suspend the offices of governor or deputy governor by the virtue of such proclamation contravenes the provision of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So many other key questions. But one thing I want us to look at here, it's probably clear from looking at what's currently going on in the PDP, especially in Delta State and the defection that is happening now. Would you call this more of a political challenge in court? If this were to be on the flip side, say the president being PDP and taking this decision, do you think these people would have gone to court too?
They won't go to court. It's not about the people. It's about their position. It's about whatever they want to get. That's what I'm saying. You understand? We have lost it all. Our politics it has no substance. There's nothing. Look, Ayo, I wish you were around when during the time of Second Republic. You will see robust engagement with political parties based on ideologies, things they want to do for the people. Now, these people now that are jumping all over the place, what do they even promise the people? Nothing. There's nothing. You can't hold them down on anything because they didn't tell you they would do this. You just voted for them. They told you, they organized a rally, you came, danced, they gave you face cap and t-shirt, and you went home. You didn't ask question. You understand? So I look at our politics. There's nothing is interesting in our politics. Nothing. Because there's no substance. There's no ideology. There's nobody that's standing for anything. Who is standing with you this morning in one political party? In the evening, we go to another one, and nothing happens. So you don't run politics that way. That's why Ghana is far ahead of us in this business of democracy. Far ahead, because they are sincere, they are transparent. They know what they want to do for them. These people that are jumping, what do they want to do for their state? Nothing. It's just for them to save their skin. Either you have something against you, and you believe that if I jump into the ruling party, I'll be saved. And that's what they are doing. And that's not how to grow a country. You don't grow a country that way. There must be lines people should not be allowed to cross. There's nothing black and white in Nigeria. Nothing. So when somebody says he's a politician, I look at him as he's a businessman. What are you doing for the people? What actually are you going there to do? Tell us what you are going there to do. Not just jumping from one party to another party, taking somebody to court. Are you going to court? Look, we are going to have more defections in the days ahead. More defections are coming. And they are not defecting because they love the people. They are going to a new party because it will offer them, because of their own protection. Because they have put their hands into something, and they want protection. That's why they are running there. Oshomole, you know what he told Nigerians. And once you come over to the ruling party, your sins are forgiven. Even though you've sinned against the people. That is the thing. So anything about politics, it is very depressing that we play this kind of politics in Nigeria and we can't get the best. The best will never come because they look at what is going on. And the worst of all is that people who don't know what to do to make Nigeria march forward are full of confidence. And people who know what to do are full of doubt. That's where we are in Nigeria. When you look at, you read the papers, you see what is going on all around you, you begin to wonder, how do people do this thing and still go to bed and sleep well? You are toying with the future of many people. You know that the place where you are not doing what you ought to do. All you are doing is just to make sure that you belong. Our politics is the most rewarding business in Nigeria. Enter politics today, you are highly rewarded even without doing anything.
All right. They argued that the president cannot lawfully suspend the state House of Assembly, under such circumstances. They further contended that the Attorney General's threat to suspend state officials are unconstitutional. And if we look at what the PDP governors, are pushing forward, especially with this case, at the Apex Court now, it's very similar to what, political analysts like yourself, have explained in the last, few weeks, especially since issues in River State started happening. Though the matter is in court and we're still waiting for the Supreme Court's judgment on that. But what are your, do you have any expectation?
I don't have any expectation because I know that who pays the piper dictates the tune. You understand? I don't have any expectation. I told you that I have no confidence in most Nigerian institutions because what they are no longer standing on the side of the justice, on the side of the people. You understand? Everything is about cash and carry. Everything is about body language of those in authorities, which is not the way to go. Look at if you watch, look at other African countries that are present as democracy. You see how there is a line of demarcation, but here everything has been tailored together. Everything. So you are out there. You defend the establishment. You are not actually bringing something that will strengthen our democracy. Has been weakened. That declaration has weakened our democracy because if you look at Section 305, that all the things that will be in place before you declare state of emergency, they were not there in River State. And also you declared it before you went to the National Assembly to obtain permission to do it. You are putting the cart before the horse. You should have gotten the permission before you declare, but you declared it, just like fuel subsidy was removed without consultation. You see the same pattern, the same system still going on. That's not democracy. That's not governance. Because you are not a monarch, you are not a king. You are a president of a nation, and there must be people you consult before you take a decision. It's not your personal estate. So, because they know that look, we have there is no longer anybody that can checkmate us. There's no anybody. We don't need this. We can always pamper them because we brought them in. I keep saying it that I don't blame this administration. It started with Obasanjo. He did it. And that's why when people blame Obasanjo for what is happening in our democracy, I support them. Because if he had done the needful at the inception, Nigeria wouldn't have been the way it is today. When he had opportunity to become the president of this country, he had a Senate president that had a mind of his own. He didn't want it. He wanted somebody, a man Friday, somebody he can always, that when he sneezes, the person will catch cold. He removed Azokaribu. And look at how many Senate presidents we had under Obasanjo. That was where the whole thing started. And now we're experiencing the same thing. You don't blame Tinubu because he copied from what others did. Now we have Ababu. Now we have Azlawan, as under Buhari, that said he will sign anything, even with his eyes closed, as far as it's coming from Buhari. That's not democracy. You are there to check the excesses of the executive to make sure that they are doing things in line with the demands of the people. But now, no way. All of you are the same thing. So who is losing? The people. The people will lose because you are not doing the work you're supposed to do. Just like a goalkeeper in a team. The defenders, the attackers and everything, and you left everything to the goal. Any ball that comes there will allow it to enter. That is the thing that is going on in our country. And that's why that our leadership does not inspire anybody. Again, I grew up listening to the likes of Awolowo, Ige, and all those people. When you hear them talk, and when you hear them debate in a house, you know that these people are intelligent people. Even from the same party, they will still disagree. And because they know that they have a name, this one, there's no name to protect. It's all about money. As far as I have money, we don't care about name any longer. It's about what am I taking home. I want to build factories. I want to build houses all over the place. Not about name. Even if they say I'm depraved, I'm this and that, I don't matter. It doesn't matter as far as I'm swimming in money. But that is not how it used to be. Those ones bothered about their names and what the history will remember them for. Here, nobody talks about history. That's why history has been obliterated. Nobody's reading history again. Nobody. And when people don't know where they are coming from, they won't know where they are going to.
All right, you can find that story this morning on the Punch newspaper. Rivers emergency rule. National Assembly counters PDP goals. Lawsuit demand 1 billion naira. And so the National Assembly has ordered the Supreme Court to dismiss that case filed by the 11 People's Democratic Party governors challenging the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State. Grab a copy of the Punch newspaper this morning. You find it on the front page of that daily. We take a break now. When we come back, right after the break, we open the phone lines so you can share your perspective. And of course, we take the following stories. Nel Fund under fire over loans to ex-student, and Naira printing costs skyrocket by 306%. We'll look at that and more when we come back right after the break. Please stay with us.
Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903-936-8185. Call Toby on 0803-509-3394. Yomi on 0706-616-5053. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Hey there! Want to stay connected to your favorite radio station? Follow us on social media for the latest updates, entertaining wholesome content, and behind-the-scene peaks. We're on Instagram at Wells Radio 893, Facebook Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, X Wells Radio 893. Follow our WhatsApp channel Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Get a scoop on upcoming shows, giveaways, and events. Also get to interact with your favorite presenters and share your thoughts on our posts and stories. Join the conversation and stay tuned into Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Yo, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
right, you're welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can advertise here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. You can advertise with us. Please call our marketing department or stop by at Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We're located at Alafi Avenue, Oluyole Estate here in Ibadan, or your state, Nigeria. Thank you so much as you do that. Now let's get back to the dailies this morning to look at top stories and stories making the rounds. But before then, 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000 or 0915-334-893. Again, 0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000 and 0915-334-893 to share your thought with us as regards the position of the National Assembly and urging the Supreme Court to dismiss the case filed by the 11 People's Democratic Party governors challenging the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State. Now let's move on to education. Nell Font. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Sulaiman Sharif from Onara. All right, good morning to you.
Regarding the position of the National Assembly on Rivers State, I don't know when our National Assembly they have found themselves to rubber stamp because their main function, the primary responsibility, is about the check and balances and the oversight function of the federal government. They fail their responsibility. I also read it this morning. The National Assembly, they want to invite Samfara governor and Benue State, which they want to invite them. Even they failed to invite Mr. President to come and say something about what's going on in our security agenda of this country. I think their primary responsibility is supposed to face it on time. About the net fund, see, is becoming headache. Instead of increasing access to higher education, it makes everything worse for the children of the masses. So I think it's the right time to set up a committee to investigate what's going on in net funds. If truly they serve your purpose for the children of the masses that they are in the public tertiary institution. That's my own submission.
Thank you so much, Sulaiman Sharif from Onara. Thank you for your perspective this morning. Now, from under fire over loan to ex-student. Some graduate or public tertiary institutions have raised concern over the delayed disbursement of student loans, revealing that funds were sent to their schools months after they had already graduated. They also continue to receive 20,000 naira monthly upkeep despite no longer being students. In a separate interview with The Punch, the affected individuals explained that while they had applied for the Nigeria Education Loan Fund before graduating, disbursements were delayed, forcing them to seek alternative means to pay their fees. To their surprise, the loans were eventually paid to their institutions long after they had settled the fees themselves and left the school. The student loan scheme has recently come under scrutiny after the National Orientation Agency alleged that some institutions were profiting illegally by making fraudulent deductions from the loan disbursed. Chukwemeka graduated graduated students, as the case may be, some of them, of course, as a result of the delay and the execution of the project, had graduated from the school. But their school
are still
receiving
money on their behalf.
They also continue to receive 20,000 naira monthly upkeep, despite not
being students again.
Again.
Can you tie it to some of the people that were receiving salaries, even though they have traveled abroad? You see why I said there's lack of public trust in our institutions. When government comes up with something, Nigerians don't expect it to run successfully. They expect it to fail. And the thing fails. Whether it is the cost, I don't understand. When this students' loan thing came out, many people were looking at it that will this thing work? How is it going to work? Because of the stringent conditions attached to it before you can have access to the loans. And right now the thing appears to be working. And now there's another clog in the wheel of progress of that fund. VCs. They send money to you. You won't tell students that, look, money has been sent on your behalf, and you are still harassing them to pay up. And some of them are even collecting 30,000, 20,000, 25,000. Is it for handling charges? The loan, is it coming from you? Ayo, that's why I keep pushing that this country needs help.
Let's take this call. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
This is Adenke from.
Good morning, Adirunke. Your perspective, please.
Yeah, on the issue of NEL fund, I don't think NEL fund giving student loan is the best option for our education system, because how do they expect the students to even pay back the loan if they borrow them the money? The students that are not yet working, had it been in overseas country now, they know how to pay off the loan. So what we expect is that they should make education free, right from the primary level to the tertiary institution. That is how it's supposed to be, that we should enjoy free education. But it is not so here in our country. So even they've not started, the loan has not started, and there's bra over the giving the student loan, which is not a good one. That's my take.
Thank you so much, Adirunke. Thank you for your perspective.
So the like she just said right now, you know, a lot of students are looking at that money as their own egunje. You understand? Because, like he said, how would you expect them to pay when they leave school?
For me, the challenge here is it's very obvious now that our system is still something we need to look at. Of course, it's a challenge because for someone to apply, say you apply in year 400 level, and if NEL fund is, of course, just like their name. We're just like their name, the acronym of that name now, Nigerian Education Loan Fund. You should understand the system in every academic institution, that for those who applied for, say, 2023, 2024, and the loan, eventual execution of the loan is between 2024, 2025, you should know that someone in year 4 who is doing a 4-year course in 2023, 2024 should not be in school again. And so if you are going to be releasing money for that loan, that money shouldn't have been released, except if the money for the loan had been released and then some individuals had delayed it up until now. Because I see no reason why graduates already should still be getting, schools choose to be getting their fees when they're already out of the system.
Okay,
there's still a lot.
Let me tell you something. Thank God you mentioned system. There is no system in Nigeria. There is no system. Take my word. And that is why I keep advocating for restructuring of this country. Let's go back to the drawing board and actually know, are we ready to be a country? Are we ready to live together? Are we ready to do the needful, to make things work? Because the way it is now, everything government creates becomes an avenue for more people to be rich. There is no system. A system where there is no punishment for non-performance, where there is no resignation, where you are not punished for breach of trust. It can't work, Ayo. If you like, make all the noise. It cannot work. That's why Nigeria is that NEL fund. If I tell you that people have become enriched now because of that NEL fund, you'll be shocked. It can't work. We go back, and the crop of leaders we have in Nigeria nowadays cannot usher in this that I'm talking of. Honestly speaking, because I don't see a country where things are done the way it is in Nigeria, and they are still. At times I step back and look. How do we even get to this level? There's nothing, no system. There's no system. If there's a system, how can somebody that have resigned from his place of work, working as a driver in UK, still receiving salary from his place of work? If there's a system, last week 217 people were using the same BVN to collect money from Kano State government. 217 people using the same BVN to collect their salary from Kano State government. There's no system. And the more we keep on building things on top of this rotten system, the more we are sinking deeper and deeper into poverty and problem. There's no system. 240 people collecting their salary, 217 using the same BVN. Where is it done? So it is not a question of, now we have done BVN, NIN, which they told us that the moment we do it, they will use it to be tracking kidnappers. How many people have been arrested through their number? There's no system. So when you talk, no system, nothing on the ground to show that we actually know what we are doing. That's why I keep saying that unless we sit down as a people, where are we really going to? How will this thing work? We are just fooling ourselves. Because see what is going on now. Government had good intention by establishing this as a NEL fund. Look at what the reports we are getting. So which means that when government was planning it, some people were waiting on the wings that, let this thing come on board. So we can make, yes, so we can, because everybody sees this as a national cake. Yes. And the students you are giving loan, how will they pay when after leaving school years they have not even gotten any money as any job? They won't pay. So students will see it as their own share of the national cake. Look at the Anchor Brewers Fund given to farmers. How many of them paid back? There's no system, and you cannot continue doing this thing, doing the same thing, expecting as a different result, unless something is wrong with your faculty.
One graduate, speaking on the point, said, I registered for NELFund when I desperately needed funds to pay my second semester final year fees, but the approval didn't come in time, so I sourced the money myself and paid the school fees. I eventually graduated, only to later discover via my student portal that NELFund had paid my fees in full. I contacted them and I was told to request a refund from the school, but how do I request a refund from a fee I have already paid when I am no longer a student?
That's it.
I also keep receiving upkeep money despite informing them I have graduated. When repayment begins, I'll return the upkeep funds, but I will not repay the institutional fee. They paid it after I had already graduated and settled my fees. You can go straight to the punch. There's a lot.
It's depressing, Ayo. Look at what that guy.
Look
at what the young man is saying. It's depressing. He's even honest enough to come out and be saying this. And how many people in Nigeria today have left their places of work for years and they are still collecting their salary? There's no system because we are not data-friendly country. No, that's why all our censors, we just throw in money. Nothing is done. The money Buhari released before he left office, nobody has given us account of it. There's no system anywhere.
I mean, for me this morning, I'm going to say that we need to find out when these monies, when was it released to be disbursed? If those who have graduated are still getting money till now, and at the time when they actually need it, they didn't get it. Then the investigation should go beyond deductions or not refunding to now when exactly was the money actually released to be disbursed. Other than that, like you said, if the appropriate channels were to be followed, NELFund is into education, and so you're not in the dark of how the academic session work. Just like I gave the instance, someone who is expected to graduate in 2023, 2024, you don't expect to still credit the person in 2024, 2025.
Because there's no system.
This is clear. This is obvious. So why are they still getting alert? So which means they should have gotten this alert, way back when they applied. Not now.
They are getting it.
Yes. Now they are getting it when they shouldn't get it.
Yes, Ayo. That is the same lack of system is the reason why people will be you getting the deductions from your bank account when you didn't take loan from the bank. No system. Nothing, no system. And the thing is being modeled up on daily basis. So when you talk of people going to court or I begin to laugh. We are not yet ready. Unless we go, and the leaders we have are not even looking. All any system that keeps them in power, they will encourage it. Because this NELFund thing, I think this guy is in charge of it. One Mr. Sawyer from Lagos State is the head of as a NELFund. It should be called asking question. 51 institutions that have already dipped their fingers into this money. How many VCs have been called? What are you saying? When there is no consequences for any bad behavior, people will tend to do whatever they want to do. Do you know why killings are continuing in Nigeria? Killings here and there everywhere, because if you don't punish killers, you are giving them the mandate to continue killing. That's what's going on in Nigeria. So there's no system anywhere.
0916-893-1000, 0916-893-2000, and 0915-333-4-893. Do you know anyone, still receiving NELFund money and already a graduate? I would personally like to speak to one, first-hand experience, and let's talk to you. Maybe you're also a parent, as we also have stories of parents here. There's a particular parent, expressing concern and even shock. Mr. Ibrahim expressed concern, saying his son who graduated 2 months ago continued to receive upkeep money. He was shocked when he got the alert. We don't know how to stop it. We need help, he said. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning. And
Good morning, Mr. Gbenga. Good morning.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Do you know one of the reasons why he is talking? And he's talking is about the president, the admission of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The reason was that whenever he gives out a duty to be done by a minister or give out an assignment to be done by whoever, he doesn't look back to checkmate how far the person has gone. So there was no accountability on those he gave up project to do. And that was one of the reasons why we are charging him as a failure. The same thing this president don't want to be doing. Because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he came with a good intention. I'm talking about the reform. He came up with a good intention just to ease the burden of stupid payments by our students in tertiary institutions. However, he does not allow accountability to play out. Look at what the situation is just painted out now about the guy. There will be so many of that guy that are still collecting that name for even after they are done schooling. And at the point in time, you call up on this morning, which they didn't even collect the 14 times. And now, one thing I also wanted to bring that is that when the inception of NEFON, Sawyer, who happened to be the MD of that particular board, he came up on the national television and he was babbling, talking about this NEFON that is going to be a relief for students, it's going to be that. And ever since we've been hearing about this anomaly that is particular event, he has never for once come out to debunk some of those allegations. And that is the reason why I want to force Mr. President. Because Mr. President is the one that has paid the truth and must be able to that has paid the viper. And he must be able to dictate the truth by calling Sawyer to come and defend some of those allegations levied against him. Look at what I told you of an example on Saturday. Look at the same way the trader money that was being done by former Vice President, what's the name of this guy? The former President, Osinbajo. Now, so many market women collected that 10,000 naira or whatever, that paid amount. And as we speak, was there an accountability, proper one, on how much was given out and how much was received. As it comes, the same way you win. So, talking about this record again, I'm telling you, there are so many things that are embedded in this particular net fund as we speak. I'm telling you, it might not be, you are just seeing the topic. The Egypt is still there. And how sure are we that some of those institution management are not conniving with the net funds to transfer the money that belongs to those students? That's number one. Number two, how sure are we that the students that get this money be able to pay back in due time so that we can make a sustainability of this particular stage? But once we start on this particular way, I'm telling you, therefore we not see its continuity will be jeopardized because it will not be addressing the targeted population of the students. It's all true. So this is what we are saying, that Mr. President and the House Committee on Education should please call NEFON to order and care properly if we have a culpable hand between the school management and President of the Institution and the NEFON, and let players as well come up on national TV to address students and Nigeria on this TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Gbenga. Thank you so much for your time. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Sorry, you've been on the line for a while. Good morning, Miriam. Good morning.
This is Mayor. As regards the student loan, sincerely, providing the student loan isn't a long-term solution at all. What we truly need is a stable economy and a functional society where the parents can be able to care for their children. The federal government should prioritize addressing our problem at the root level and not providing temporary solutions, lasting solutions to all the multifaceted problems we are facing.
Thank you so much.
Ayo, there's something I want to say here.
Yes.
You see, we are running away from the problem that will never be solved unless we do the needful. True federalism will address all these abnormalities we are talking of.
Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, George. Mr. George from Ologweru. Good morning.
I'm calling you from Ologweru.
Good morning to you. Yeah.
You see, this discussion has been not from this particular administration. It happened during the Osibajo and Buhari. Now we are seeing it in Tinubu and his administration. It's going to continue, like Chukwemeka has been saying. It's a system. Though we say there's no system, but it's a system. They know that that system works for them, and they can come in, play with that system, make their money, and get away with it, and nothing will happen. And that's just exactly what is happening now. When they brought this issue of student loan, I was part of those who said that it will not work. I knew why I said it will not work, because I knew this is how it's going to be. It's going to be like trader money and market money, what the name they give to them. That today, nothing is happening about it. And the place we are supposed to run to be able to find solution to this problem, we can't go there because you will not get respite from there. That is the court. The court is supposed to check this, judiciary is supposed to check all these anomalies. But even the judiciary is under the hands of those who are playing this game. So we are really in a serious problem. And if someone suggests the way out, they will say you are instigating violence against the government that is on ground. Both those who are implementing it, those who brought it, and those who are taking the money and the rest of it, all of them are supposed to be in the hands of the law enforcement agents by now. And none of them will be held. In the end, Tinubu will finish his 4 years, and another regime will come in again, and we are going to remain in the same thing. It's a very sorry story for Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, Ayo, I was saying something. You see, through federalism, in true federalism, the center has nothing to do with education. It has absolutely nothing. If we go the route of true federalism, all this nonsense we are talking about, we won't hear it. The federating units will take care of their own education. Now, true federalism will address insecurity because every federating unit will have its own police. You understand what I'm saying? But they don't want to go it. We lump everything together and we are making a mess of our country. Because in true federalism, some of these things will be addressed. There's no way the federal government... Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chukwemeka.
Good morning, sir.
That's Mr. Tayo.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
right. I've been listening to this morning. I know you are very passionate about this country. What you said about NAPO is also playing out on Petard now. I'm holding the nation of February 5 right now with me. The executive secretary of that organization, whatever they call themselves, Mrs. Odunaya, said he told reporters that the reason why they could not pay the new minimum wage is because the fund has not been released by the Office of Accountant General of the Federation. The nation of February 5 is with me right now. And I'm quoting her. I'm quoting from that paper. Now, today is February 5. 3 months after, nothing has been done. No.
May
As
5.
So you are yet to receive February, we are yet to receive APP, all salary, all pension. As today is Monday, February 5.
May 5.
So somebody, I'm telling you,